You walk into a gym, onto a field, or into a locker room before practice. Athletes are everywhere, sitting on the floor, pulling on their hamstrings, holding long stretches, breathing slowly. It looks calm. It looks focused. It looks right. But what if I told you that this familiar warm-up habit might be doing nothing for your performance? Or worse, might actually make you perform worse? Sounds uncomfortable, right? Because for decades we've been told, stretch before you play. Loosen up before the game. If you don't stretch, you'll get injured. But science loves to challenge traditions. So today, let's talk about stretching, specifically static stretching, and whether it really belongs in your warm-up. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly when stretching helps, when it hurts, and what athletes should actually do instead. First, let's make sure we're on the same page. When we say static stretching, we're talking about stretches where you hold a muscle in a lengthened position, usually for 20 to 60 seconds, without moving. Think of touching your toes and holding it, pulling your heel to your glutes and staying there, lying on the ground and stretching your hamstring with a strap. That's static stretching. And yes, static stretching absolutely improves flexibility. According to a study done by D.M. Medeiros in 2016, static stretching is effective at increasing hamstring flexibility. So if your goal is range of motion, mobility, or long-term flexibility, static stretching works, but performance is a different story. Let's talk about jumping, sprinting, and power. In a 2020 study by Yıldız, researchers found that static stretching before activity decreased jump performance by 5.5 to 10.4%. Think about that. If you're a basketball or volleyball player, that's the difference between touching the rim and missing it. If you're a sprinter, that could be the difference between winning and finishing second. Another study by Brady Holt in 2008 found that vertical jump performance was significantly lower after static stretching compared to other warm-up techniques. And according to W. Young in 2007, static stretching can impair muscle performance, especially when muscles need to produce force quickly. So what's going on here? Why would stretching, something that feels good, make you weaker? The answer lies in how muscles behave. Static stretching temporarily reduces muscle stiffness. That sounds good, but stiffness isn't always bad. For explosive movements like jumping, sprinting, and cutting, muscles need a certain amount of stiffness to store and release energy efficiently. Too relaxed, and power leaks out. That's why some athletes feel heavy or flat after long static stretches. But before we completely cancel static stretching, let's slow down, because the story isn't black and white. In a 2018 study by A. Blazevich, researchers found no significant performance decrease when static stretching was included as part of a comprehensive warm-up. Another study by Fabio Carlos Lucas de Oliveira in 2016 also showed no performance modifications in some athletes. So what gives? This is where nuance matters. The effect of static stretching depends on how long you stretch, how intensely you stretch, when you stretch, and who is stretching. Interestingly, a 2017 study by G. Bogdanis found that intermittent stretching, short bouts rather than long holds, actually enhanced vertical jump performance in flexibility-trained athletes. So for athletes who are already flexible, short, controlled stretching may not be harmful and might even help. But for most athletes, long static stretching right before competition isn't ideal. In fact, according to Gregory S. Walsh in 2017, static stretching improved joint position sense, which is good, but decreased muscle strength, better awareness, but less power. That's a trade-off. So if static stretching isn't the best warm-up, what is? Let's talk about what science supports. According to a 2024 review by Chen He, there are 3 main warm-up strategies: dynamic warm-up, static stretching, sport-specific warm-up, but the key is how you combine them. Dynamic warm-ups involve movement, controlled swings, skips, lunges, rotations that gradually increase speed and intensity. According to a study done by David G. Baim in 2011, experts recommend dynamic stretching or short-duration, low-intensity static stretches as preferable warm-up techniques. Why? Because dynamic warm-ups rapidly increase blood flow, muscle temperature, nerve impulse speed, oxygen delivery. In a 2019 study by M. Vora, researchers showed that warming up improves neuromuscular efficiency and readiness for high-intensity movement. Another study by Derek Soppel in 2024 found that dynamic warm-ups are particularly effective for high-intensity sports where speed and power matter most. So what does an evidence-based warm-up actually look like? According to Caroline Prince, in 2023, a typical athletic warm-up may include 8 to 10 minutes of moderate jogging, 9 to 10 minutes of dynamic or ballistic stretching, Around 15 minutes of athletic drills, short accelerations, and high-speed running. That might sound long, but remember, this isn't just about warming up. It's about preparing your nervous system to perform. And here's the most important point. There is no one-size-fits-all warm-up. According to multiple studies, warm-up strategies should be tailored to the sport, the position, the athlete's flexibility, the athlete's injury history. A gymnast doesn't warm up like a sprinter, a pitcher doesn't warm up like a soccer midfielder, and a recreational athlete shouldn't copy a professional warm-up without context. So where does static stretching belong? Not gone, just relocated. Static stretching works best after training, after games, in separate mobility sessions, or when flexibility is the primary goal. But as a main warm-up tool before explosive performance, the evidence suggests it's not optimal. Stretching isn't bad. Timing is everything. So next time you see athletes sitting on the floor stretching before a game, remember, they might be following tradition, not science. If you want to move better, jump higher, and perform at your best, think dynamic, specific, and intentional. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a teammate who still stretches for 30 minutes before kickoff. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.